What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again. We got ourselves the next Theory Craft Thursday for you all today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you guys checked in earlier this week, we just recently released that first Educate Dominator of 2017 featuring Syntac, the number one ranked player in the world when it comes to real-time arena. There was a lot of things to take away from that message, and so we're going to be talking about one of those particular concepts right here. First and foremost, when it comes to the real-time arena, one of the biggest mistakes that I made, as well as other people have made and he's seen made over the course of his time playing, is the transition from the arena to real-time arena. There's so many different strategies that we utilize in the arena, and we try to push it over to real-time arena, and it doesn't always work out. He talked about the short game versus the long game, and opening up your mind to the realization that it's okay to use the timer to your advantage. So we have to think about certain compositions that are going to allow us to utilize some of these really strong support-based units in order to get the job done. So when I took a look at a lot of the more easily obtainable, natural 4 stars, when it comes to support-based monsters that are, just powerhouses in my head, I thought none other than the Neostone agent category, more importantly, the fire, water, and the wind one, of course. So let's take a look at those units and talk about why they are so good for real-time arena. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start out with Lisa, the Fire Neostone Agent. Why? Because this is the one that is extremely popularized. It's kind of pushed some of the other ones on the side as, kind of potential dark horses and whatnot. The Fire Neostone Agent, her bread and butter, being able to remove all harmful effects and be able to take 3 randomly selected targets, allies to attack the enemy target that you choose, okay? This skill goes down to a 4-turn cooldown. In addition to that, you got a single target buff removal that if you remove 2 or more beneficial effects, you're going to get yourself the opportunity to increase the attack bar. So you have, in addition to that, you have yourself another skill that's going to provide the glancing debuff, right? And when a unit glances, they're not going to be able to land those crucial debuffs that they need to succeed, right? So, when I think about this for RTA, a lot of people are thinking about this for Rift of Worlds, and rightfully so. But this is definitely an RTA powerhouse, right? Why is that? Because as Syntac explained, when it comes to first turn immunity versus cleanse, we can make an argument for a cleansing type of unit to be stronger than that. Why is that? Because even if you got that first turn immunity, if you're playing the long game, they can essentially wait their turn, right? They can essentially wait their turn and then cast their skill after away. But if they waste their skill and then you cleanse your units, being able to remove all those harmful effects, including the stuns, you're definitely ahead of the game. It's essentially, like he said, it's essentially a cooldown reset, because now that person has to wait 4 turns, and you're back to square one. So why is Lisa just a powerhouse, right? We have the buff removal, and if they're bringing a type of immunity, some kind of a beneficial effect person that's bringing 2 or more beneficial effects to the mix, you got the opportunity to have the attack bar boost with this skill for 20%. But more importantly, with regards to this attack command, being able to cleanse and then attack, bring other units to attack, is going to be pretty darn strong. Why is that? Because when we're looking at these kits overall, right, it's all about the roles and what we try to bring to the mix. Some of these units have pretty important first skills, right? And so having the opportunity to have Lisa pull those in and utilize those skills, whether it's a defense break, whether it's a beneficial remover like an Archangel, or whether it's a stun, with a unit such as like a Phantom Thief or whatnot, it could be anything, right? But that's the name of the game. This gives you an opportunity to utilize your units that you bring, their first skill. In addition to that, for whatever unit gets pulled, you're going to be able to reduce their cooldowns by 1, right? Because again, anytime you pull a unit, it's going to be able to reduce their cooldowns, okay? And of course, we already mentioned the glancing hit on the first skill. Really, really strong. You can't deny the fact that the glancing ability is going to interrupt their amount of DPS that they're going to be bringing to the mix. So Lisa, Fire's Neostone Agent, you can definitely bring it. A lot of you guys have it built. Whether it's the front line or the back line, you can definitely make it work. I currently run a front line Lisa, running speed, defense, HP with a violent guard. But of course, if we're looking at utilizing this in the PvP side, we can definitely make an argument for the will set so that we make sure whatever kind of first turn setup they're bringing, we can make sure that we don't get stunned and we don't get locked down. Obviously, the first turn argument, it's a good argument, right? If we're thinking about what we're doing right now with Rift of Worlds and we're trying to transition our unit in there without making too much change, keep in mind that you are rocking relatively high resistant Lisa, right? In addition to bringing Elisa on the mix, you already have it built to be tanky. You already have it built to be high resistant because that's the way you want it to be in Rift of Worlds, right? You want to make sure that your cleanses are available and you don't want to get locked down by the Rift of Worlds boss. So this unit could almost make a lateral change, probably not too much. You can make an argument for playing around with Will, but overall, just an amazing unit out there, and I highly recommend it for you guys that are starting to get into the live PvP. Again, I run a violent broken essentially just to get the stats that I need. But if you want to make sure you're taking away that first turn for them to lock you down, then I definitely like a will set on this particular unit. Let's take a look at the next one here. Emma, this is one that I think a lot of people thought was pretty decent, or they talked about it, but it didn't get really all too much hype because they really didn't look at it here. So I want to take a look at the unit overall, and then we'll kind of relate it towards RTA, right? So we got ourselves a unit that's going to be providing a skill that's going to heal 30% of your max HP, right? Emma's max HP, in addition to increasing the defense for 2 turns. So the cool thing about this is regardless if you use it early on, right, on the onset, you're still going to get value out of this heal, giving you that shield-based skill. So it's not going to give you the full amount, right, but it's going to give you a little bit shield to utilize, okay? Second one, similar to the fire one, cutting magic, removing those beneficial effects, and if it's 2 or more, we're taking away we're increasing your attack bar of your team. And then we got ourselves the glancing hit, the preemptive strike, similar to before. So looking at this unit overall, right, we get the leader skill, which is not too relevant when it comes to Guild Wars. But why is this one not too relevant when it comes to real-time arena? Because we can't take advantage of that leader skill. Why is this one still good, though? I mean, for a multitude of reasons. We have ourselves, again, once more, the glancing. We have a way of rocking that beneficial effect remover. And again, if they're running a ton of beneficial effects, which some of us do stack up beneficial effects, we're going to have the opportunity to manipulate the attack bar of our team. And then last but not least, this particular skill heal, not just providing a strong heal, but it's providing that defense thing. And keep in mind that this is 30% of your max HP versus your opponent's max HP. So what does this mean? You can get a lot of value out of units that are generally built in a squishy manner. You're going to get a lot of value out of this unit because if you stack her with a lot of HP and you get 30%, it's going to be based on her stats, right? So any type of flat heal is going to be really beneficial for squishy units or defense-based monsters. You definitely want to pair different types of healers that are bringing the flat heals with defense-based monsters. You're going to get a lot of value out of it because, again, the mitigation that you bring, since the HP pool is smaller for you, but the HP of the heal of this particular unit is based on her and not you, you're going to see a really, really good increase on this one. So I'm a huge fan of this one. Again, there's nothing wasted here when it comes to their heal. The beneficial effect remover, you got a lot of things going on. And again, it's not so much about having, you can have the beneficial effect, remove it, and you get the attack bar piece. It's about bringing a unit that's going to play multiple roles. We got the heals, we got the defense buff, we got the beneficial effect remover. We have an opportunity to get the attack bar increase, even though we're not really relying on it because it all depends on what your opponent brings. But more so that glancing hit ability. Okay, so really strong one again. And then last but not least, in this particular category, the third queen of RTA, Miss Olivia. Now this is one, if you guys caught a long time ago, we talked about this one with Foi. On the Underrated and Overlooked series, we talked about some of the RTA units that are really some showstoppers when it comes to that category, and rightfully so. So why is everyone talking about this? Why is this one so big? Why does Syntax use this in a good chunk of his composition? Let's take a look at the skill set, okay? First skill, as always, glancing hit, okay, and in chat, and it has 2 times to land it. Briefing, a really strong skill here. We're going to be able to cleanse an opponent and fill up their attack bar, okay? Any type of support-based unit that has some kind of attack bar manipulation tied to it, is extremely strong. So the fact that this one cleanses it and fills it up completely versus just a certain percentage, I'm definitely a big fan for it because again, everybody understands the power of CC, the power of turn denial. So being able to lock down your opponents is extremely strong. And if the opponent is not bringing any kind of cleanse or immunity, it's definitely going to accelerate the fight for your opponent on you. Okay. The big thing about this is that what people don't realize is this skill, while it states it is 4-turn reduction, it is actually 2 turns when you reduce it. So when we're talking about a unit like this that is on a violence set, I mean, we're talking attack bar manipulation day in and day out. You can see the value of this unit when it gets lucky with those RNG procs on the violent. That being said, if you guys saw his recent Educate Dominate, he does something a little bit different with this. He runs a swift-based Olivia, not catching people off guard, them not thinking that he is running a super fast Olivia so that he can manipulate the attack bar of the opponent for 50% if he lands it both times and then provide that defense buff for 3 turns. This also is a really low cooldown for a 4-star unit. There's a lot of 4-star supports out there, but there's only a handful of them that have extremely low cooldowns on the kits. So you can see the value out of this skill, not only for the RTA, but even if you want to play around with it in Guild Wars. Obviously the Neostone agents, when they first got brought in and they got the leader skills, they were beneficial with regards to the Guild Wars. But again, going back to the RTA, this is just an exceptional thing. And why is this one so strong? Like Emma, it's providing that defense buff, being able to mitigate that damage, using those defense buff in combination with some great effective HP for your units is extremely impressive. So Olivia, the Neostone agent, that is the one that I actually recently built up. So you guys can see right here, you're definitely going to see me play some real-time arena with this unit a lot. I'm going to be messing around with different builds, but for the most part right now, I'm personally running a speed HP with a violent endure. Why am I running that? Because I have essentially I want to make sure that I'm landing. Some of my runes here with the endure had some really decent accuracy substats. I'm not where I want to be with the accuracy, but I definitely wanted to have a little bit of resistance on this unit. Can we make an argument for will? Most definitely. Depending on what kind of composition you're bringing. If you're going to opt for the first turn, you got to let your opponent opt for the first turn. But the combination that I generally use, I'm generally getting the first turn, so I'm not too concerned about will. I want to make sure that if we're focusing on the long game, I could do what I have to do to make sure that I'm resisting those skills that are going to manipulate or lock down my unit so that I can use the support-based unit to provide additional turns for my other DPS or other support-based units. Overall, though, that's pretty much it, guys, for this unit review showcase. I'm looking forward to hearing about if you guys use the Neostone agents and how do you use it in your compositions. What kind of compositions have you been playing around with in RTA? And if so, put it down in the comment section down below. I'll be sure to hit you up and try to get some of that feedback on that. So that is it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you next time, guys. We're out.